This is an overview of some of the interactive elements for intermediate users. That is, users that are fairly comfortable using Looker Studio and now they want to explore some more. So these features allow users to get more out of individual charts rather than having to go to a separate chart to get the information. So what we'll cover in this video is drilling up and down, optional metrics, sliders, and cross-filtering. So for drill down, on charts with drill down, you will see these symbols, up arrow and down arrow. And the most common way to use it is to think of like a hierarchy. So in this case we have date, and then up the hierarchy would be month, and then year, right? So this chart only has 1 year of information, that's why this is just 1 point, right? And then we could go back down, month, and then date. So there's an example on a time series chart, and on a table chart here we have a hierarchy with source, medium, campaign, and so on. So right now it's on source medium. We can go up to the channel, and then we can go down to the campaign, to campaign, term, and so on. Right, and we can reset any drilling we have done on the chart using that reset button there. And then there's this symbol, which is optional metrics, and that allows to show a base set of metrics and then include other metrics that a user might be interested in. So in this one we don't have the purchase conversion rate, the user purchase conversion rate activated, so it's an optional metric that the user can now turn on if they like. And there's also optional metrics on the time series chart, so the user can have the metrics side by side, or they can switch to the metric alone, and this is often appropriate where there's a big disparity between the metrics, such in this case where the optional metrics, the two displayed, is not very useful, so you have to switch off one in order to see what is going on. But if they're close together, then it'll make sense to have multiple ones on, right? And I'll switch to another dashboard to give an example of one instance where sliders are useful. So when sliders are on a chart, there is this symbol, metric slider, and in this case there's an extreme value that renders the rest of the chart basically unusable from a visual point of view. So the first thing would be to determine what's the reason for this, and you use other charts and tables and to figure that out. And then, well, you still want to use this chart to see things without this extreme value. So what you can do is use the metric slider and get rid of that extreme value, and now the chart is useful again for the values that are not to the extreme. Another scenario where it's useful is basically filtering, for example, a table chart for ranges of values that you're interested in. So I only want to see rows where the e-commerce purchase is greater than 1, and you might also want to set a minimum purchase revenue, let's say maybe 20 as an example, and then the table would be filtered by that. Right, so it offers real flexibility in terms of narrowing down on what you want to see. And the final one is cross filtering, and currently Google doesn't have any symbol that they show for cross filtering. So on our chart we show this little icon that indicates that this chart has cross filtering, and you can think of it as an alternative to using the drop-down filters. So when we have this on a table, so on the table view we can decide, well, okay, we're only interested in seeing Google organic traffic, and then we can click on it once there's cross filtering enabled, and everything on the page would be filtered by this dimension. Right, so now everything on the table, on the page, sorry, is filtered by that dimension. Right, and I'll just mention that on a table with drill up and down, you could filter on one level, you could use cross filtering on one level and then go to another level and then put additional cross filter in there. So I'll show details of that in the advanced video, as well as drill action that will also be shown in the advanced video.